Handball Alley, no fella in 5th class. Yeah, I was in the Handball Alley last time, no playing handball with him. And then we was getting there. So he tipped the 4 balls, and the 4 balls in the Handball Alley. And said, hey, and Mary, and something came out.
Hey, Mary,
3 nuns followed him.
You could see someone dead. See someone
they can go through you.
See someone dead, like you tip the 4 corners of the wall and you say Holy Mary backwards. No, backwards is very hard to say, like, but he said it and he seen someone dead in front of him.
So I took off. I ran and he still stayed in there.
He stayed in there.
1986 there used to be a great war on King John's Castle, and the wife, at the end of the war, the wife was sitting on the bridge, and then she had a row with her husband, and then he pushed off and she was hanging off the bridge. Then her nails were stuck into, like a big long nails around here, were stuck into the wall and couldn't get out, so all her nails came off and she fell in, and he pushed her in and then she died.
And people say she wrote her name when she had her nails stuck in with her other nails on her hand.
She was hanging on one hand and she put her name to remember the spot where she died.
There was a Banshee rock in Kelly's Field, but no, it's gone now because Banshees, well, there used to be Banshees in Kelly's Field, mainly one Banshee, but the builders were after building houses and soccer pitches in Kelly's Field, so the Banshees are now gone down to Kelly's Field in Moyross, and well, there's loads of Banshees down in the dump field and in Galleys as well.
There's the headless coachman and the headless horseman.
The headless horseman was probably fighting with a Banshee and he died, or he just
got his head chopped off.
Yeah, or he was just probably jocking his horse down there and something killed him, or he just fell off or something. And the headless coachman, he got killed by a Banshee, or he probably lost his head off a branch or something. And the rock, the builders broke the rock because they never knew it was a Banshee rock, and some people say they got a bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck to break the Banshee rock, and then some of the builders got bad luck, like down in the Island Road there's a fairy tree there, and the builder cut it down and he was never seen again.
There's a place in the bank called the Green Lady. It's all green, like in the swamp it is, and a fella trying his dog and for a swim, and the dog went down and all his bones came back up.
There's this other story about just across the river from the Handball Alley too. It's on a bridge and it's something about the ghost train. It's a ghost train, and if you see a train gone past midnight on the bridge, it's called a ghost train because no trains go past the river and the bridge past midnight, and it's called a ghost train because it goes past around midnight, and if you see it, and you can kind of see it right through it, so you'll be like that. And if you're on the bridge, it just comes straight at you and goes through you.
There was this woman called the Bishop's Lady. She was always going around killing the children and the heralds, and no child went down to the road. And then her husband, the bishop, he threw her over the bridge at 12 o'clock. So you're not meant to go over the bridge between 12 o'clock and 12:15, because that's the time he threw her over and she'll come up and drag you in.
And you can see all her nails scraped on the wall. And if you touch them, you get haunted for a week.
No, you get haunted for a few months because she just loves killing. It's mostly children that touch them, and she goes around terrorising them. It's only children that she terrorizes.
She thinks they're her own family.
So she loves killing them.
Before my brother's friend's toilet, he went to sleep over, it kept on going on. And the tap kept on going on after it. And my brother woke him up and said, your toilet won't stop flushing. And he said, no, we're getting the priest in to bless it tomorrow. And they phoned the plumber before they got the priest, and the plumber said, no, there's nothing wrong with the toilet. The priest came, he blessed it, the toilet flushed again that night, and the devil came up and caught everyone in the family.
My granddad used to work in Cardiff because there was no houses, there was just one bungalow. So he was walking home one night and he saw a banshee on the rock combing her hair with her nails, and then he looked back like that, and he saw her, and then he looked in front of her, and he saw her, then in front of her, and then he walked on, and she started going, ah, and then looked back, and she wasn't there at all, and then he walked over her.
My nana seen a banshee in her house. She woke up to go toilet, but when she was in the toilet, she turned around like that, and she seen the banshee, but the banshee was only that size, and she just turned around like that and done that. She looked away again, and it was gone.
My friend's Nana she woke up one night because she picked up a comb off the ground, and she woke up and the banshee, she heard the banshee go, ooh, she heard some noise like that, and she went downstairs and the banshee was there, and she had a heart attack.
I want to tell you something about Handball Alley, and if you touch the four corners and say the Hail Mary 3 times backwards, and you'll get locked in, and my sister Chantel touched the 3 corners, and she was too frightened to touch the last one, and you know, up by the bank there's a little swamp, and there's a green lady, and she's all green, and she has black rag clothes on her, and she has black hair, and do you know the banshee? Do you know if you look at her, and if you look at her, she'll throw the comb at you, and if you ever hear the banshee crying in the night time, you'll never look at her because she'll fire the comb at you.
No, if you look into her eye, you'll die straight away.
And if you look into her eye, you'll die straight away.
I was in my friend's grand's house, and we were minding it till 12:30 because she was sick, and wait till her husband came home. So we were sitting down watching telly, and the door just kept opening, and we went up, and she goes, it's only the ghost is going through the door and all that. And she goes, always that door always opens every night. It don't open at daytime at all. But we thought it was the breeze, and she goes, it was souls and ghosts is going through the house.
Do you know the Gary Owen racetrack? The Greyhound one. But anyway, my granddad was there about 20 years ago, and he told me that a dog collapsed when he was running racing, and his trainer worked him too hard, so he just collapsed on the ground and he died. And anyway, sometimes you might be able to see him if you look through the windscreen glass through the racetrack. You might be able to see him trying to still get into first place.
If you go up near Tracy's up a hill, and if you have a stone and you hit it's the shape of a love heart on the wall, and if you hit it and say goo 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 3 times, he'll come out and haunt you for nearly all your life.
And they say you know, there's this house and there's loads of bars now, and they say if you keep in, you know, they say that he used to live in that house and is bored of it now. But there's someone living in there.
And no one goes up there no more. Barely no one goes up. And when they're coming home from the pub and all, they'll be all touching and all hitting it with rocks. And if they say goo 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 goo, be their own fault getting haunted.
There was this guy called the Milkman. He used to walk down every hill, and he used to go into all the houses saying, can I have milk? And if he went out to the kitchen and came back out the door, he'd be gone. And he'd go keep doing that to all other houses. He used to be doing it for years and years and years. And anyone that said, no, I won't give you milk, he'd kill him, and he'd live in the house.
Near St. Patrick's School, my friend's friend, her nana and granda were walking down the hill, and the headless man and the deck coach was coming down, and the man didn't know, so he said, how are you? And it's a lovely evening, and when he looked like that, he was gone again. This fella had no head, he drives down the road in half, and he had a sword in his hand, no pet people, he chopped the head off.
It's the headless coach, right? Came spell in his house. He sits in that desk there. But you could go down that way. You go straight down along, and you just see his big house. There's a gate there with spikes on the gate. You could just walk through it. There's the big graveyard, but if you walk past that in the night time, you see the headless coach. But there's a watching more at the other side of it, the statue of Holy Mary. But when his uncle passed it there a good while back at about 1 o'clock in the night time, it followed him.
Another few people.
In a pickup. but they went into the church.
I was coming down my stairs and all that I seen coming over was something green in the shape of a bird, and it went through the wall. And watch now, then I came back inside and it went upstairs and around and came back down and out the door. Yeah.
My granddad came from Wexford, and his man every night in November. One night in November, she would go out into the middle of the road, and you could hear these kind of footsteps of a horse, and then her hair would blow up, and then in seconds her hair would go back down, and then she went back in, and nobody knew what it was, and it wasn't windy at all. And she did that every year.
There was a thing called Ballanty Club. You have to go through damages to get it. So then my mother and my godmother was walking out and they saw a sheet on the ground. So my godmother went over and said, someone shouldn't have left that sheet, it's all that's nice. So then the sheet lifted up off the ground, and then the sheet lifted up off the ground and tipped on the shoulder, and she started screaming, and then it went up over damages, and then they ran up to the country club.
My babysitter's mother was walking up the stairs, alright, and she had a picture on the wall, and she saw her eyes moving. So she took off the picture and then turned into the coldest, and then she went down to watch the telly, and she walked back up to go to the toilet. The picture was still on the wall moving her eyes, so she turned it back into the hole and she went back out, and it was still on the wall, so she just snapped the picture and threw it into the bin. She woke up the next morning anyway, and the picture was still on the wall.
If you drop a knife on the floor, it usually means a strange man is going to come in the door. And it happened to me before. I dropped a knife on the floor, and my father's friend walked in the door, and I didn't know him, and he was like a stranger to me, but my father knew him.
And once happened to me, I was cleaning the ware and I dropped a knife at the floor, and I heard the door knocking, so I went to answer it, and an electric man came in the door, and I never knew him, but my mother did.
There was a man called Headless Horseman. He's from Moyross. He was in Moyross. He lived in Moyross, and he had a horse down in Delhi's because Delhi gave him permission to keep him the horse. So he had the horse in there. And one night he was down in Delhi's driving his horse after drinking with his friends, and he said he'd go down and cattle up the horse. Yeah, he was drunk. And after
he didn't realise it was so late.
Yeah, he thought it was about 7:30, and after a while then he got drunk and fell off the horse. And then after about 4:30, the Banshees came and killed him. Well, Banshees came, there were 4 of them, and the leader one came. Well, she lived in Cuisle this time, but she came down with her friends, and they came over and killed him, and he became the Headless Horseman. And then they took his head, but now the Headless Horseman is after Banshees to get his head back. And
to fight in the whole time.
But he was drunk one night, and they just took his head, and he became the Headless Horseman. But now he's like a jockey. He's jockey's clothes on, and he has his horse, which is a ghost as well. It's supposed to be like.
This woman, she lived in Ballanty, and she went to this fortune teller, and the fortune teller gave her this note, and she said, "Don't open this till you get home." And then she crashed into a truck, and then the guards then found that note and goes, and they opened it and goes, "Rest in peace."
There's his house, and there's the Green Lady. So you could go down that way to the Green Lady, or go down that way. So you go down that way, walk along the bank, keep going till you see the little pond going around. You look straight across, there's his house, so you could just go down the side of the bank and you could look into it. You could see all rubbish all around it now. But if you fell in there, you'll never get back up.
And then if you pass it, you grab a window and they'll tear on the one
in the night time, grab your wind. tear
No,
down.
my sister fell in the last time by a swing. No, she was swinging on the swing, and there was swing snapped and she fell straight in. She got back out.
If you're walking down the bank, the green lady will leave off a white bird. And if you just ignore the white bird and keep on walking, your legs will get torn into the swamp, and if you don't get out fast enough, she'll tear you in and drown you.
On the Tolman Bridge, there was a fella, his name was Drunken Teddy, and one day he was drunk, and he stuck his hands to the top of the bridge, and he fell off the side of it. And if he went up the next morning, his handprints are still there on the top of the bridge, and everyone just thought if they see him, they just run away from him, because he was. They all called him a ghost because he when the bridge was there, he could put his hand through the bridge and leave handprints. And he was in the pub one day, and he drank down his pint, and the man asked him, "How did you get that?" And he had a pint full, so he got thrown out. And he went over to the bridge and he fell off the side of it, and there was a woman there, and she dived in after him, and he was walking on the water, and she was drowning, and he wouldn't help her, so he caught her, and he was drowning, and he got out of the water again, and he went back into the pub without anyone on.
They all said that if you step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back, but no one would believe it.
I don't believe, because you can't just break your mother's back without her doing herself an injury.
Yeah, if you step on a crack, that's nothing. Who'd believe if you step on a crack, you break your mother's back? That's nonsense.
I stood in a crack once and my mother's back got injured over work.
I stepped on a crack, my mother's back didn't break. But Donna Marie's mother's back did break because she stepped on a crack.
There was this fella a long time ago. He was a milkman. Well, he used to carry jugs of milk around, and one time anyway, he was inside his house and he went out, and there was a lot of young fellas playing soccer and hitting it up against his gate, a ball. And one time he kept hitting his windows, and he went down and he told them to stop, but they wouldn't stop, so they were doing it more. And he went down anyway when they were playing hurling, and he got a slit there into the head, and your mum was brain damaged. And around a week later, then he used to be going into this one's house with 2 jars of jugs and saying, "Have you got any milk?" And your one used to say, "Alright, here." And then, one time, she once stopped giving it to her, so she just turned around and she looked back, and your man wasn't there. And every Halloween, you'll see your man up by this lane. He's walking up by all the houses, and he used to be going into the houses, looking at all the drinks, asking for drinks and all sorts of stuff and milk and all. Like, that's why they call him the milkman.
The Banshee is black, and sometimes she lives up around knocked down buildings, and if you go there, sometimes you'll see her and she's all black and she floats. And if you see her with a golden comb, you'll die 5 seconds.
And after the battle, she didn't know to kill someone that the clothes go red, so that's the sign of blood getting spilled. And that's why she kills them. But she don't let people bother her or anything.
I saw a Banshee when I was about 2 years old, and I was walking up the bank with my mother and father. My mother and father, what you call it, was out by the bank, and by the bank where the playing machine. I wandered off walking. I thought they were with me, and I was up in the bank, and then I heard the Banshee roaring, and I just looked around, and I saw her glowing. She was glowing different colours, like she was roaring at me, and I got a stone, I threw it at her, I just threw it like that, I went like that, and I missed her, and she went off to me then, and she went like that, she just scraped me with her finger, and all my jaw there was cut.
When the Banshee's tree got burnt, all her stuff was up there, her glove and her comb. It's a black comb and a black glove, and then when the tree then got burnt, they all went up there and threw down her stuff, and then the comb was that high and the gloves, big massive glove for her nails, and then they're still down there somewhere, and if you touch it then it's really bad luck, and the comb and the glove, you'll die if you touch the Banshee stuff.
The young fella was walking the dog on the bank, but he went through the field to go home. But the dog picked up the comb in the mouth like that, and he had me sand, and he turned it away like that, and he went home. But when the boys were coming up the road like that, they were coming up the road on the bike, and the two little things on the cone stuck into the spoke when they were cycling, and the two boys just fell off the bike, and the two bars on the bike snapped the thing like that. So the two boys fell off, and they seen a banshee, so they ran straight down home.
I was walking down the bank before, and I was with my uncle, and it was on Halloween night because I asked him to, and everyone says if you pass the green lady on Halloween night, she'll try to come up when someone's looking away and she'll try to take you. So I was holding on to my uncle.
My aunt was telling me on Halloween night, she lives across from the bank, just there's the bank and there's her house, and she was telling me that the headless coach had come out, so she was frightening me so I wouldn't go out playing anymore, and she was telling me that he'd come out and take me away.
And my mother told me there's a such thing that it's on some season at 12 o'clock you're not supposed, I think it's on Halloween, 12 o'clock you're not supposed to walk the footpath because it's the death's time and then lock you off it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
My mother told me that too.
That's why I now left walk the footpath. I am like, right.
At 12 o'clock on a Halloween night.
Very Friday.
I was in bed one night, right? And I heard these noises outside the window. And they were like, and I looked up the window and they were going, and there was a banshee over in Thomond Park, the rugby pitch, Thomond Park, over there. And there was about there was only the banshee, but it looked like three of them because it was lighted up. And she was combing her hair with her nails that were about the length of crayons, and even bigger, and she was combing her hair. And if she saw me that time, she would have given me 10 seconds to get away. And if she did see me, if I didn't get away in 10 seconds, she would have killed me. So she didn't spot me, and you know what I did? I jumped back in, right? And I peeked out the window, and she was gone.